Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your August 2018 mid-month general readings. We're looking at the last half of August here. Thank you for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and subscribes, and for all of my regular and new clients for keeping me so busy with personal one-on-one readings, which I love. So if any of you are interested in any personal one-on-one reading with me, live or recorded, you can get more information and my contact details by going to my YouTube channel's homepage, clicking on the little About button, or clicking on the description bar of all the videos that I post. Turnaround time's pretty fast. I can usually get back to you within the same day or the first 24 hours of your initial contact. And scheduling a reading can be anywhere from a few days upwards of a couple of weeks. Almost always within 2 weeks or so we can set up a reading for you live or recorded. So contact me if you're interested. I do love and romance, reconciliation, compatibility, career, work and finance, investment, channeled messages from passed on loved ones, and 6 and 12 month overviews, which take a look at what's coming in your life for the next 6 or 12 months. And gift readings as well. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy for quick answers to those really quick questions. That link is also provided. I would be delighted to work with you. All right, let's move right into this. This reading is for the water sign of Cancer, our crabs, our Cancerians, for the last couple of weeks of August. If you know your rising and moon sign, watch those as well for additional clarification. General readings can be tricky in that they can resonate differently for everybody watching in details and specifics, but the energy and advice always remains the same. Okay, Cancer, let's see what's in store for you for the remainder of August. We have the 10 of Cups followed by the 4 of Pentacles. We have Judgment followed by Temperance. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy, guidance, and focus for the remainder of August is Death or Transformation. It looks like potentially for a lot of you a pretty significant and profound last couple of weeks of August, because out of 5 cards you have 3 major arcana cards. Major arcana cards represent significant and profound energies, divine timing and orchestration, God, spirit, your angels, and guides. So significant life changes and events, or the opportunity for significant life changes and events. And it looks like something is coming to an end or has come to an end, and probably something old that's been there for quite some time, because the overall energy and focus and guidance is death, or transformation as I like to call it, because the word death kind of makes some people clench up. Not typically talking about physical death here. Although, you know, occasionally it does. My condolences if this death actually represents an actual loss for you of someone. Transformation. Usually death shows up when something has come to a complete end. Something for once and for all, I mean to say. And usually it's something which has been there for quite some time, and it needs to die a death. It needs to come to an end once and for all. The ground being completely cleared out so that something new can be planted and manifest and grown over time. Because birth follows death and beginnings follow endings. That's the way the energy works. In every ending, there are the seeds for the next beginning, the new beginning. So something coming to an end which has likely been there for quite some time. For some of you, this could be an actual part of your life coming to an end, closure on something in your life that's been there for quite some time. It could be a situation resolving itself that's been there for quite some time as well. And it looks like it resolves itself really well, and that you were able to kind of hold on to something too. Because we have around the second week, middle of the month or so, we have the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles. So Cups is water energy. And in the tarot, this is the energy of our emotions, feelings, and relationships. It's that part of our life that Cups usually manifest in. Tens represent the end of a cycle. So you have a lot of ending energy here. Tens represent cycles ending or something coming to an achievement, a fulfillment, a completion phase. The 10 of Cups is a beautiful card. It's often referred to as the happily ever after card or the happy home card, because there's a strong energy association with home and family with this card. It can sometimes represent marriage, childbirth, family, home, happiness, harmony, continuity, because the completion and the fulfillment has a sense of stability and security and continuity to it. All 10 of these goblets are upright and full. And it kind of represents being at that place, Cancer, where you feel like things have finally come together. Your emotional landscape, inner and any connection to home and family, whatever that means to you, it feels like something has finally come together in a beautiful way. Something has finally reached an achievement, a culmination place. Something has ended, but and it could be a combination of both of these things. Something has come to an end once and for all. And whatever it is, it represents a sense of home, family, harmony. I'm actually getting legal for somebody out there, maybe for a handful of people, because meaning a legal situation that's finally resolving itself. And it may be something that affects you, your home, your family, and it could actually be around your family home, the property itself. Maybe you had a mortgage that went upside down, or the home went into foreclosure, or something of that sort for some of you. For others of you, the details and specifics will vary, but it's beautiful. It looks like you've managed to retain something or hold on to that, whatever this 10 of Cups energy represents for you, because it's clarified and accompanied by the 4 of Pentacles. So Pentacles in the tarot is earth energy. That's the element which governs this suit. So earth energy is tangible energy. It's practical energy. And in the tarot, this usually manifests in the area of our life that deals with such things like money, finance, property, resources, assets, career, job, etc. Things we can see and touch and feel. In the emotional relationship part of our life, Pentacles can represent, again, tangible results of efforts we put into it, the work we put into things, or material aspects of it. The 4 of Pentacles represents holding on to something. A 4 is a number of stability. It can also represent stagnation, but I don't feel that here. Sometimes referred to as the miser card in terms of actual dollars and cents, being very frugal, being very economical, holding, and I sometimes see this card come up with people who have actually lost a lot in their life, and so they cling very tightly to what they have left because they're afraid of losing that, afraid of kind of opening up. Sometimes can represent being afraid to share in emotional or relationship aspects. It can represent being kind of guarded, protective, kind of closed off or defensive. But it's a card that represents holding on to what you have. And I mean, no card is a standalone. You have to look at how everything relates in a spread. So it clarifies the 10 of Cups, that beautiful, harmonious, happiness, achievement place, together with looking at that general overall focus of something long-standing, perhaps coming to an end. And again, I'm getting this legal situation for some of you. With the details of it, of course, general readings can be tricky that way because there's so many of you watching. Maybe you were able to save your home because it was, there were some financial issues with it, or structural issues with it. Or maybe some of you too, maybe by saving, holding on to your money, being economical, frugal even, maybe you were able to get into your first home or pay off your first home, or you're getting close to paying off your mortgage, and that kind of weight of something is going to be lifted off of your shoulders. It can represent that too. Or just some situation, something in your life which has been there for some time is coming to an end. But that end represents happiness, harmony, stability, particularly in connection with home and family, something that you're being able to hold on to, or the practice of being economical or frugal or very practical has helped you to get to this place of whatever it is the 10 of Cups represents for you. Now, at or towards the end of August 2018, we have 2 major arcana cards, so it looks like the end of the month is pretty significant too. We have Judgment and Temperance. Judgment is an interesting card, and I always feel kind of a weight with this card. Not in a bad way, but it's significant. It's judgment. And I often see judgment come up when there's a choice that needs to be made, or there's a decision. And the decision can appear to be a really big, important decision, or it can appear to be, maybe not that big of a decision or a choice, or it may not seem to be that big of a deal. But judgment represents that it is a big deal, because whatever the choice or decision, or whatever you choose, whatever you set into motion, whatever actions you take, are going to have a significant play out in ramification and consequences for quite some time to come, kind of like a ripple effect. There's an air of finality to judgment, meaning that whatever you choose, you're going to be held accountable for. The ramifications of it, positive or negative, are going to play out for quite some time. It's going to set the foundation for something. You're not going to be able to come back from it or reverse it or change your mind. So the accompanying advice to judgment is always choose carefully. Whatever you choose, whatever you decide, whatever you set into motion, whatever path you take, it's going to set the you're not going to be able to reverse it. It's going to set the stage for something. So if there's a decision on the table in front of you and it appears to me maybe not that big of a deal, the result of it will be. So choose carefully, because that's what judgment represents. What does it mean to be judged? It means to be held accountable for our actions, for what we do, for what we choose. We're going to be judged for something means that we're going to be called to answer for it, to be called to account, to answer for that. So be careful, particularly in the last part of August, maybe the last week or so. Of course, time will vary for those of you watching. Any decisions or actions that you choose, whether they seem big or small, how they continue to play out will be, so choose carefully. And it's further underscored by the clarifying and accompanying card, which is temperance. Temperance is the perfect expression of balance. In the culinary world, to temper something means to take things of opposite temperatures and slowly, patiently, harmoniously blend them together until a harmonious mixture is achieved. If you try and add something really hot and something cold together, it won't work. Sauces will break. It'll be ugly and gross. So temperance is the perfect expression of balance, holding opposite extremes in unison and harmony. Patience, being grounded, standing in your truth, knowing what that is, letting things play out in their own time. In a mental, emotional, and spiritual way, my analogy for temperance is it's like being in the middle of a seesaw or teeter-totter. Being in the center means that you're grounded. You know who you are, what your truth of the situation is, and what you know to be the right thing to do and the right path to choose. And that's what being grounded is. You're in the middle of that seesaw or teeter-totter. When you're not grounded, when you're not centered, when you're not sure, you're on the outside end, and you're at the mercy of external elements. The weather, your own emotions, people's opinions. When you're not sure, you're on the outside end, and anything can make it go up and down. You lose your balance and fall off. Being in the center, no matter how much the outside external things may go up and down, you might wobble, but you rarely ever lose your balance when you're centered and grounded. That's what temperance means, being centered, grounded. So, and so the last week of August or somewhere around that time, there's something important going on. So make sure that whatever choices or decisions that you make or that are in front of you to make, for August 2018, particularly the last half of August, particularly the last part of August, the last week or so, even if they don't appear to be that big of a deal, remember this reading, because how they play out will set the stage for something that you won't be able to kind of undo. So it sounds a little like ominous, right? I don't mean it to. Judgment means choose carefully, positive or negative. Stay balanced. And judgment is the clue to kind of whatever choices or actions or paths you need to take, because temperance is about, in choosing whatever judgment represents, temperance is about, okay, what's the truth of who I am, where I stand, what are my ethics, what's my integrity tell me, regardless of what other people are saying or feeling or whatever, or maybe what I might be feeling. What do I know to be the right thing to do here, the right path? And stick with that. You can't ever go wrong when you stick with that. Even if it's difficult in the present, it always plays out when you stick with what you know to be true and right, holding to the highest degree of honor and integrity that you can. So Cancer, that pretty much wraps up your August 2018 general reading, your mid-month general reading. Thank you for watching, and I hope that at least some of you watching has found it useful. Again, if any of you are interested in a more personal one-on-one reading with me, you can get more information and contact details by clicking on the description bar of all the videos I post, or going to my YouTube channel's homepage and clicking on that little About button. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo for fast answers to the really quick, easy questions. Please feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the September 2018 general readings. And until then, Cancer, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.